Hello. Today I want to finish up the HUD programming, and we left it like a couple weeks ago, but we still have one thing left to implement, which is character health. And if we take a look at the game, the HUD is kind of full. We have so many things that we don't really know what could be used for the game. Technically, they're all in use. So, I had to pause because I want to show you. We have the score, we have the gem, we have the weapon. We actually don't have the weapon name even implemented yet. So we're gonna do that today as well. But what's problematic is health. We don't have anywhere to put it right now. And I don't really want to animate the life icon either. It is a good choice for the health meter, but I don't want to do that. Considering we also have 100 health, that gives precedence to making the health a number. And I don't really want to do that again. I just want one sprite. So what we can do is sort of health bar thing over here, maybe. But initially, back when I was still making the concept, I had the idea that the gems, sort of like in Sonic, would be used as the health. Except instead of getting hurt, they get just consumed. You would still lose a life if you dropped to 0, but the system was kinda raw. So what we have in the game now is a more traditional lives and gems and health system. The character technically has 100 health. That's not very good, because the way that the game works now is that there's no invincibility frames. And that is why it kinda works. You have time to get out of the hurt zone. But technically, you have 100 hits. Every frame hurts you. And that's not very good. Particularly because we might want to... I think I'm leaning towards making the health into like a point system instead, where you get 3 points, which means that in order to display that properly on the HUD, we need to make a knockback and invincibility system. But I still wish to represent the health here somewhat. What to do? Maybe we should do like a... Maybe we could do a health bar. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this health bar option instead. It's just gonna have 6... whatchamacallit? 6 points, like this. So we can actually test drive these as well. The HUD is also a bit performance heavy in it that it is being updated every frame, no matter what happens. So I also want to change that, where it is only being the update is only being called when it is changing, but the movement is called every frame. We just don't update the numbers every frame, because that is actually quite heavy. So let's try and see if we can get the HUD to glitch first. Why am I moving forward? Okay, on my computer, which is pretty good, I think, we can't make it... Oh, there we go. Okay, well, everything seems to be tracking, but we still want to make it later, because that's just good practice. So, what I want to do is... let's optimize it a little bit first, and then we go on to make the health bar. But first, I need some audio. Where the heck is my playlist? Hello? There we go. Right. Where is the on update? No. On update, not update. There we go. Okay, weapon selecting calls update HUD. Maybe we want to set current weapon icon. Maybe we want to just call this when weapon is being updated, not everything else. No. Weapon icon. This isn't the main thing. Okay. Shooting again. Yeah, we call update HUD here, but what we want to call is just set HUD score. And at the end of the frame, we probably also want to, where the player position is being updated, to update also the HUD position. We are updating the score here, but we are not updating the HUD because the HUD should be updated here. Yeah, because we are adding more points and we are adding a crystal, so we definitely need to update something here. Set gems. Crystal score tally. What do we need? Okay, let's go to update HUD. Gems. I think we missed an enemy part. I'm gonna lower the desktop a little bit. Bullet cleanup. Enemies bizarre encounter with bullet. Set HUD score. Oh, we... What else do we need to update here? Point score. Set... we already do this. We in the future, when we consume ammo, we're also gonna need to update the ammo counter thing, but not right now. This comment is wrong entirely. Yeah, we call point here, but we also need to call ammo there. Again, we need to call the lives, not update the entire HUD. And we also need to call here the gem one. Right, does this break anything? No. But it is better because we're not updating the entire HUD every time. The position is still being updated, but the HUD itself is being left alone. Let's try and spam the fuck out of the stage. Yeah, you see the numbers are slightly laggy, and that's not good. That means something needs to be done with the bullets. Right now, the lag is caused by the fact that the collection is being edited while it is being rendered. That's not good, and I may want to actually just change the bullet position instead of just creating a new one and deleting it every time. That's not technically editing the collision, the collection, but it is reusing it. But that's beyond what we're doing today. Go to level, load screen, animate bullets. Okay. Oh, when we lose a life, we also need to update it. Let's find our update HUD method again. Update HUD. Set HUD lives. We also in the future want to make. Let me add a comment here to do. Yeah, we don't want the respawn thing. We want them to get kicked back into the map. So the level remains uncleared, and you can technically re-enter it. Actually, I think we can do that now. No, I don't want to mess with the game state right now. I need to make the HUD with better health. Actually, I think we can like implement some invincibility frames. Only I want to do it but only because it just makes things easier. I can actually have like a method. I'm just yabbering here. I'm just gonna do it. I wanna do it because I want to remove the 100 health thing. 6 health points is a lot easier to manage than 100. So you lose one, and then you get the invincibility frames for like a second. And if you're still back in the... Actually, I'm using Box 2D. Why am I not doing this now? Box 2D has like knockback functions or something similar. We already know the player's direction. But first, we need to edit the player animation to include some invincibility frames. Do I have the error frame in my assets? Open folder. I have everything else but the error one. Okay, well, let's add. The enemy does have one. It doesn't? No. 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 I'm fairly certain I added an error sprite somewhere. Okay, well then let's make one. Actually, I think it might even be in the debug folder instead. In debugger. Sprites. Player. No. What? Ah, there we go. There is a no sprite and an error state. I'm just gonna use these. Let's go. Player. So instead of having it be transparent, let's use no sprite. I wanna see it. For that, we need to add a new sprite into the player data. Art data. Player sprites. No sprite. Does enemy have these sprites configured already? Ah. I don't wanna scroll. These are level art references. We don't need any of this. Player, menu, digit, weapon. What? Oh, they're probably in the enemy data. Enemy. Yeah. Yeah, we have error state and no sprite. Okay. So what we wanna do is kind of override everything else. So if okay, so we need a new variable that sets like the iframe animation time. So whenever the frame, whenever the toggle is true, we want to, instead of whatever the sprite was supposed to be, just have this sprite. So we need an overriding case in the animation system. So that means in the demo game, we need more variables. Actually, 2 of them. Where font? None of these are being used anymore, I think. Yeah. Paste direction. Left, right, up, down, fire, jump. Please find us the next one. He's God mode. Actually, I might implement God mode today as well. I want to like get a proper like level debug mode going as well. But first, we need invincibility frames. These are not needed. Steps. The steps is used, slow down frame rate is used, remaining jump steps is used. So what we want is bool is invincible. By default is false. And bool override sprite. False. And invincibility for frames. Let's say that they are invincible for half a second, so 25 frames. And let's add override sprite for frames. And I want to display every 5th frame as it switches up every 5 frames. So we need to go to the player animator. Is it a method? Animate player. It is. Oh, I think we can actually just make a case here. So when the player gets hit, the first boolean is flipped, is invincible. If is invincible true, then what we want to do is modify the variables here. And we're not taking steps, we are directly using okay, so we don't have an invincibility frames per se, but we do have no sprite, so we use index 23. Player.sprite else. We want this in the else. And actually no. If is invincible is true and override sprite is true. Else if and override sprite false. We then only animate. The step thing is still being done in the background. That's not gonna change what frame it is, so it will still animate as normal if it's not in the invincible frame state. But in both of these cases, we want to count down, because is invincible is true in both cases. So, override for frames. Okay, I need to have a think. Player.sprite, we need... What are the things that I put? Override sprite, let's go to that one. Invisibility for frames 25. Override sprite for frames. We need one more modifier, variable. Int has been invincible for 0. We increment this and we check against this. We do not modify either of these directly. Int invincible frame has been displayed for. And we also increment that, and we basically do the same thing. Just, it's like one period of time inside another. This is the overarching period, and this is like the blinky period. And this is for the duration of the blinking. If that makes sense. Let's go back. So, if is invincible and override sprite is true, no. I'm gonna remove these conditions entirely, and we're gonna do it a little differently. Else if is invisible false. And in any other case we display error sprite. Else error sprite is index 22. No, we don't need condition. Okay. So if it is invincible, we do the invincible sprite. But else if it is not invisible, we just animate as normal. But in here, we still need to check if the other period is running. And we still need to... And... if has been invincible for is smaller than invincibility for frames, this is the overarching time period. We basically do this again inside here. Has been invincible for plus plus. Can we avoid nesting? And invincibility frame has been displayed for is smaller than override sprite for frames. No, I don't wanna do this right now. We can do that later. If has been invincible for is we and increment later, we animate using this. And in here, I want to know so we animate it for 5 frames and leave it alone for 5 frames. We just clock this. If override sprite for frames is override sprite for frames. Invincibility sprite has been displayed for. Invincibility frame has been displayed for is smaller than override sprite for frames. We flip the condition. Override sprite. Override sprite not equals override sprite. No, I'm idiot. Equals not over sprite. And then there's nothing else to do here other than to increment that counter as well. Override sprite has been displayed for invincible plus plus. Else we increment in here only and zero it here. Same here. Else has been invincible for 0. And we also want to flip the condition for is invincible. Is invincible equals not is invincible. Actually, we want to disable it. So set it to false manually. We just don't want to flip it. We want to disable it. True. Right, and depending on the modifiers, we are now gonna is invincible false. We are gonna animate it here. We do not need this condition at all. We don't need either of these. We just add if is invincible false, we animate as normal. Else if what am I doing? Is invincible and override sprite is enabled, we override the sprite. 23. Yeah, we can also use these variables to check for damage as well. Can these systems be united? Yes, but I'm too lazy. Let's see what happens. We are not triggering it. Okay. So we need to implement damage collision checking. Oh, not date. Colliding ground, colliding enemy. No, this is bullet. Here. Oh no, this is bullet. Bullet cleanup. Object collision. Coin level finish. Start set levels. Next room. Enemy. Player health minus and is invincible to if enemy is null and is invincible is false. Sprite to the bullet. What? Why? Why is this bullet? Did I literally not just change the name? Sprite to the enemy. Where is the enemy part being used then? If enemy is not null, it's being I'm a fucking moron. Why are these not sorted? What? I need to read this shit. Enemy is colliding bullet. If player health is being player is colliding enemy. Bullet collision equals enemy is colliding bullet. If bullet collision is not null, this is to check if enemy is touching this. Player is colliding enemy. What the fuck is going on? Let's find wherever player is colliding is set. Ground. 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 On ground, player is not null. Coin. enemy. And enemy is being checked here. If enemy is not null, player health is being discounted. It should be here. Bullet collision equals enemies. Oh, we're checking it here because we may have fired a bullet at the same time. Yeah, that's all fine then. Except I'm gonna move this one back up. If enemy is not null and is invincible is false. I know these are like the invincibility is put in variables. It should be really in the object, but do you really wanna do that? I just want to get the invincibility working so I can get to work on the HUD. And this invincibility is false. Player health minus bullet, and we set it to true. Is invincible equals true. Call HUD update for health. Yeah. Yeah, we lose 1 point and we get invincibility at the same time. And while we are invincible, we are not getting checked again. And it should animate as well. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we are not resetting the retrigger properly, but we basically have invincibility frames. I will have to be right back because I am thirsty. This sounds like old YouTube. What is this? Okay. If it has been displayed for else if it goes greater, we want to zero it, and it becomes then again small, and it is being technically 25 frames should get us 3 blinks. We could make the blinking faster and see what happens, because half a second is not that much time. I want it faster. Does it still only do 1 blink? Guess. Okay, touch me. Yeah, it does 1 frame and then gets flipped permanently and never does it again. Maybe we should put a breakpoint. Or I could log this all out in console. I'm just gonna copy and paste this. Let's go in here into our method and only log it when it is invincible. Log info Can we have a highlight, please? Highlight. Ah, no. Right, this seems fine. So let's pay attention to the console. I know this is like 3 pixels on your screen, but I need to watch the console. I need more spaces. Okay, let's try this. No. Why am I doing it like this? I want 3 lines. No. Aye. I need a new command parser. The console utility tool is broken. Touch me. What does the console say? Override sprite gets flipped every frame. That's not good. Okay, so our math is wrong here somewhere. If invincible sprite has been displayed for less time than the override sprite for frames, which is 3, override sprite we need to flip it every time it reaches 0. And only 0. No, we need to flip it every time it goes over. And we set it to 0. And then it does it. Yeah, I think this should work. Hopefully. We need to make sure that it only gets triggered once. And let's see where it is used. No, not quick action. If it is false, it gets triggered. Let's do it like this. Give it an entire second and put 5 frames. Does it then make more blinks? That was a touch. I'm gonna put a breakpoint. Why is invisible being... Oh. No. I want to go into the if. Right. Skip here. What does the console say? Override sprite is false. Can we set override sprite false to true as well? Okay. Skip all this. It is true. Invisibility for frames 50. Override sprite for frames 5 has been invincible for 0. Invisible frame has been displayed for 0. Okay, let's skip to the end here. Right. If has been invincible for is less. If invincible for is less than the override sprite in plus plus. Override sprite else if it goes over and invert has been invincible for plus plus. Hmm. Actually, let's see when it gets here. True. Not true. One step. False. 5 gets set to 0. Has been invincible for is additioned. And we continue. False gets false into a true. It animates. The sprite is not being displayed. The problem is not here anymore. It's in animate player. We are in animate player, goddamn. So when the 5 frames pass, it should flip it. It does flip it. It's not displaying as flipped. Problem might be here. And override sprite true and false. If not is invincible. And override sprite is true. We need to add a new case. Else we just animate. Disable this and continue. Hey, there we go. We have invincibility frames. So I want to make it longer. So instead of 1 second, I want 2.5, which is 125 seconds, frames. Hey. We also want a little knockback. Why does it go faster when I jump? Because the sprites are not being advanced. It has more time to actually do the blinking. Jump sprite is just 1 frame holding, essentially. Right, knockback. Where do we want to do it? Here. Player. Add force. What does add force take? Force and point. Can we see other usages? No. Can we do it? Apply impulse. We. If up applies when the upkeep boolean is true. Any other place? The jump does the same thing, so let's just use the impulse thing and give it an impulse in inversive direction. If, so we need to go here and do another if. We want to knock it back in the opposite direction that the player is looking towards. We could do it moving towards, but that's more complicated because we then have to track the last position as well. I'm tracking it somewhere already, but I don't know where, and I don't bother to find out right now. For now, this is fine. Because it's an extra anyway. Extra for now. If player sprite no, I think this was like a global variable in the game itself. Facing something. Face direction. Let's go there. Why is this an integer? Yeah, it's being used like a boolean, but it's an integer. That's probably some really old code. If face direction is 0, we're gonna apply impulse that way. We are doing the Y, we're not doing the Z. This is gonna be a really good, bad knockback. And else if face direction is 1, we don't want to do it in any other case anyway. We just invert the X. Invert, not delete. Yes. Is there knockback? It is kicking me, but in the wrong direction. This needs to be positive, this needs to be negative, and it needs to be more powerful. Why is it better in one direction and not the other? Is there a bias? There is a bias, but I don't understand why. Fine. This is good for now, but there might be something wrong with box 2D. Anyway, we have being hurt, we have knockback. We now need to make the HUD part that has the health. So for that, let's go. We need to add more HUD items. Oh no. All shapes, all sprites, HUD objects. These are all too generic names, but whatever. Where is this being modified? Find all reference. This happens at the registering thing. No, I don't want Copilot. Fuck off. So what we need to do is go and generate the sprites in the art data. I say generate, but what I mean is add. Get art reference. No. Menu sprites. HUD sprites. Digit sprites. Weapon icon sprites. Yeah, we need to add them here. One reference. Where is it being referenced? List bitmap. Okay. We have the HUD BMP, digit BMP, and weapon icons. This needs to be its own type of thing. So, bar elements. Bar element sprites. Do I have bar element sprites in asset sprites HUD? Yes, I do. And we're actually adding one of them here. This is the empty sprite. But this is being returned into digit sprites. We're having this in the digits because why? Don't know. I do know that we need it here. And then there's the 1 bar and the 2 bars. Digit BMP, where is being used? We need to render it. HUD weapon icon. Lives. Gems. Score. The score is too long. Let's just hide this. You ain't see nothing. Case HUD, case weapon icon, case. I want to add it here. Case health. So let's assume that our player can have a maximum of 6 health points. We want to convert this into a list of displayable things. What does the digit normalizer do? Is it good for this purpose as well? Actually, this is exactly what it is used for. So essentially we want to return what it needs to output. And we're actually not going off by length this time. We are always receiving, if 6 health points is the maximum, we are always receiving 1 digit. But what we want out is 3 digits. We essentially want to divide it up into 3 characters, either 2, 1 or a 0. So we're just making ternaries here, I guess. Health. Yeah, we need to do. We can use this. Health. Digits normal. And let's add the health case. Let's have the score be the last one. Else if what is health? 2 And we just want to return specific strings, I guess. We want this case. If it is between... If it is less than... Okay, so essentially we can have 7 values. Nothing. Or 0. 1 health. 2 health. 4, 3, 5, 6. If it is 1 or 2, less than 3. If it is, else if less than 3. Less than 3. We return whatever is the first digit and 2 zeros. That way we get 1 and 2. The next case is gonna get a little bit trickier. If it is 3 or 4, we need to subtract 2 from it. Which means converting it back into a number temporarily and just outputting a string again. Okay, how I do that? And we have normalize int that's usable. Int length. Normalize into string length. Oh, it itself is a number. Yeah. So we don't need to convert. Normalize int. Else. Normalize int is smaller than 5. That means 4 and 3. But not 2 and 1 because that's been already solved. Return 2 plus normalize int minus 2. Plus 1 0. And the last case, if it is smaller than 7, we do the same for the first 2 digits, they are 2s. But the last one is now the one that's being subtracted from it. Does this make sense? Kinda. And if all else fails, we just have a full bar, no matter the count. Return 2. So we can have more health, technically. But that's not good. Well, it is good, but it's margin of development for later. Okay, we have the health conversions. And we still want player health to be used for this. Yeah. Well, we are getting... Actually, we want to use the characters that we used for these. That way we can directly address them. So, let's go back here. Do I want to do this here? Because... Yes, because in the other place... should we even, like, do it like this if we're gonna have to define every number to be its own character? Yes, we can. So instead of 0, 0, 0, we are returning this. And then instead of 2, we are returning this. But here, a number is being returned. What we want to do is check if it is even or odd. Bool is odd. False. If normalize int modulus is not null, modulus equals not null, but if normalize int is... Okay, how do I... is divisible, has the remnant, has anything? I need to do the math. But can I do the math here? Yes, I can. Normalize int modulus 2 is not... Then we return... string even odd. String 1. No, string item? By default, empty. Item 1. Else item 2. Okay, and we are getting the string in the proper format, and my music has run out. I need more. Adventure Island sounds good. We have the string. Let's go back. Right, and now we just add the things. It's not lives. Oh, ooh. We need to make HUD objects for it as well. Bar elements. Weapon icons. HUD object weapon icon. Digit BMP. Live gems, score numbers. Health left items. And let's add a template. Digit normal H is the thing that we're adding. Life element. Health element. What does this constructor accept? Current sprite, all elements sprite, int display this. And tag. Okay, let's do it like this. I thought we were supposed to identify what type of a HUD object it is, like HUD element type, element bar type, element fill. Fine, we're just gonna prune this crap out later. Yes. And what is being processed by them? Let's go to gems and see where the gems are being used. Set HUD gems. We're adding the lives here. Set our lives. And the method. Edits the data that is being displayed. Are we giving it the collection? What is the collection that we are giving it? Digit BMP. No. This is wrong. For health we need to add bar elements. So now we need to make its own update method. Set HUD lives. Let's go to that. And make a new method. Set HUD health bar. We're gonna reuse this method for ammo as well later. Oh yeah, we have not added the ammo bar because our ammo is infinite and it didn't need changing. Should we do that now? Or later? Don't know. I need to be right back. This track sounds a lot like Streets of Rage. Probably because Yuzo Koshiro made the soundtrack to this game, I think. I think we essentially want the same system in here. Let me think. It is still a HUD object, correct. Display data integer. Yeah. And then it updates the thing. Do I really want to manually switch case this? There has to be a better way of doing this. All of this translating into sprites should technically just be done with one method. And it has to like accept text or integers like it was a font. I'm essentially building like a font displaying system that's way too overcomplicated for just a HUD. But whatever, we get the health working today. Yeah, we're parsing it into string anyway. Can we use the exact same method here? I think we can. Else if... else. Just else. String converted. Equals... And I want to use the same method, digit normalizer. Here. Health. And we give it the health. And we just for each once. What does the digit normalizer exactly do? Because I can't use it directly. Why can't I do it like this? I think I can. But instead of this, can I just... No, I need to make them into twos. So here. In the HUD score, I am using digit normalizer. Fine, we're getting these icons here. But we now need to convert them back into numbers. And that is a pain. Actually, it's not. Int rep 0. Right, and now we do the conversion from the string. No, we can do an array. Rep. For each char actor in converted if let's do a for loop instead. For int I length converted point length prep length. If converted I is this char, we need a char. Then prep I is 0. Else if converted I is a minus, it is a 1. And in any other case, it is a 2. Hold on, I need a snack. So now we have the potential characters. And we just need to display data int as prep 0, prep 1 and prep 2. I have broken something. I have definitely broken something. Yes. I think this should work. Anyway. It's time to actually render the elements. And let's make the player also already have 6 health at the start. Right, we need more good stuff. Okay. What was it doing? Update the HUD. We need to do it in the method where the player's position is being updated. Is this why they are here? Update player camera. Yes. Update sprite HUD. Technically, this could just all be one for loop, but eh. Okay. Or add objects count. And where do we want them? Let's see if it's gonna crash. Right, it didn't crash, so that gives us some idea to understand where we want them. So the live ones are actually really close by, and I think we want to just modify their position instead. No, not the live position, but a modified position for the HUD items. Life, so X starts at 64, but we need one block less, so not 64, 56. The Y okay. The Y we can set on render time. If HUD objects I tag health element 0 56. Right. And we need to, at the render time, which means where the level renderer is. Health. When it is health. X and Y. We need it 8 higher than normal. So +8? No, -8. Does it display them? No, why? Because no level data has it. Okie dokie. The HUD appears here. Lives. Let's add the health. And just test on level 1. Oh, almost. I need to put it a block lower, which means +8? Yeah, right now it's -8, otherwise it would be here, and +8. Yeah, because lives is already occupying this. Okay, I think they're all on the same X position though. Yeah, which means the X position is actually better set in the method that updates the camera. Update player camera. And here we're setting the... Are we though? No. 16. Yeah, we're adding it here. Let's see this in action. Oh. Okay, we had something to do with the camera, because I remember this being a problem earlier. X -64. Of course. This should fix. Hey, there we go. It's not updating. Do I still have 100 health? Oh yeah, that's what we were looking for here before. Player health, yes, 6. And whenever player gets hit, we also want to call this new update method. Apply impulse. What is this noise? Oh. Right, and we call the set HUD health bar. Ooh, error. Why you not give error earlier? Well, left items. Are you happy with this? Yes. Of course, I choose a level where... Okay. Let's just do this real quick. What is it for? Oh, did I forget to actually subtract? Yeah, because I can't subtract 2 from it. I have to subtract 4. This happens in normalize integer digit normalizer where there is health. Yeah, -2 happens here, but -2 also happens here. -4 needs to happen here. I'm surprised it didn't crash. Yes, that's very nice. Now hurt me. What? Why are you not updating? It works fine here. It doesn't work fine here. Why? Else item equals. Is the issue in the rendering? Let's go update camera. Update player camera. No actual updating is... It's just position update. Info update. Here. This is fine. For some reason this is not. Can I set the health lower? Let's go to player health. One. It's rendering a number. Why? Are we rendering it as a number? In the rendering? Render layer. Back to this. Because we are normalizing it as a health. And we are technically just using the correct thing as well. I think the normalizer is outputting the wrong data. Let's see at render time what it is. Log. Info. Digit normal. Age. And we need to disable all of the invincibility logging, because that's annoying. Where is it used? Right, so when I start the level with one health, the digit normalizer is output of the digit normalizer is outputting what? A number. There shouldn't be a number. The digit normalizer is broken for this. Is odd false string item. We're not using is odd at all. We need to use the item. item. And we need a new case. Yeah, if it's not either. We just have it empty. Actually, it can only be one of these. Oh well. Let's give it a try. Does this work? Hey, we have health. And we also die. But the health is not being updated. Let's add some more health to the player, like 3. Right, when we are getting hit, I am calling the update method, but it is not updating because whatever I'm writing in the update method is not working. Set HUD helper. Because I'm never changing the data. Oh, I think I am. I'm preparing the numbers. And using the numbers. But are the sprites themselves being changed? So remember, we have a special data format for the health bars. Can we log everything that gets put into the preparation? And then see... Highlight. And see the date. Health left items. Is it updating out of integers at all? Is this used anywhere? Score number. Set HUD score. Fine, let's log it. No. Error? Where error? Ah. It is outputting 2, 0, and 0. That's correct. Should I use these just? Prep 0, prep 1, display date, prep 2. No, this just is the display date ain't. The changing of the sprite happens elsewhere. In the set HUD lives, display date lives. Where is the collection itself being changed? Or this bitmap? Here. Set HUD lives animates it after with a for each. Am I missing this? First we set, then we change. Yeah, we are missing this part. Where the sprite actually gets changed. Wait, is it changing into numbers now? Because it's getting the data from lives. We are not using lives, we are using health left items. Okay. If this works, might be done for today. Hurt me. Yes! Okay, so we essentially have... Oh, wait, what? Is it showing correctly now? Oh, we need to call the health thing again when we respawn. So, respawn player. Lose life. Set HUD lives and set HUD health bar. Health left items. That sort of works. Why did it respawn with 5 though? Player health. Let's set that to 3. We should make one variable to do both things at once, like on level start and on respawn, but this should work now. It does. Nice. So we have health bar. I don't think I'm able to do the weapon thing today. We'll do it another time. Still, we got some stuff, but we have iframes now, and we have health. That's not in the hundreds. Excellent. And with that, I should make a commit. Sorry for the noise. Yeah. I think this is good. thank you for stopping by, who stopped by, and thank you for watching if you watch this on YouTube. But yeah, this is it for now. Next time, I think I'm gonna have something... Yeah, in the next programming one, we're just gonna do the weapon bar, and maybe we start adding items, although there's like 4 other things that need to be done before that. But we will be finishing the HUD soon enough, so I guess we can add like the weapon items and the weapon names to the HUD. Stay tuned for that. But for now, from me, goodbye, thank you for watching.